Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new F1 25 League racing video. Today is Ironman League round number 4 around Austria, and this is how the championship is looking. We are quite far behind actually, 26 points behind Otis, but we are leading the constructors together with Luca Ripassa. So yeah, not all too bad, still a lot of rounds to go. We've been a little bit unlucky, and I wanted to say unlucky. We've been stuck as well in traffic quite a few times.
Corey Brooks has left the session.
So, yeah, I think we can do a lot better. I think our pace is actually good. So, we just have to get a good race and no incidents, no bullshit. We are starting down in P18 this time. I'm not sure why, actually, because we are first in the constructors, and I thought it was reversed team championship, and maybe it got changed to reversed drivers or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're always starting in the bottom 3 anyway. So P18 it is. As
okay, Danny.
Danny squeezed us a little bit onto the grass there. I think didn't even realize we were there. But into the next right-hander we go. I made a little bit of contact there with a car on the outside. I'm not sure who that was, but yeah, no damage done to either of us, I guess. And now into turn number 4 we go. We're going to brake really deep around the outside, but unfortunately there's not going to be enough space, and we have to take a little detour into the gravel, and we've lost 2 positions with that. And now we are down to P20 again. Yeah, starts have not been great as well, just so far this year. Again, not sure if I'm rusty or it's a little bit unlucky as well. I mean, in Jeddah we had a great start, but then somehow we got overtaken under VSC, which is not ideal. But yeah, down to P20 it is. Terrible start, but we get on with it and try and make up some positions later on in this race. Opening lap done. Into lap 2 we go, and you can see Wilson huge and Duncan Hovland going side by side through there. A little bit of argy-bargy into the next left-hander again as well. Let's see if we can take an advantage from this. Again, it seems like maybe Wilson got some damage, or I think it might be his first league race as well. And yeah, the game is quite different in racing conditions compared to the last game. So yeah, dirty air is really tough, especially on Austria. You know, all these high-speed corners makes it quite hard. Into turn 1 we go. Let's see if we can get a run on Joni Tomla into turn number 3, I think it's officially. Got a decent run down into turn number 3, and we're gonna dive down the inside. Unfortunately, we just got slightly boxed in there. Let's see if we can get a better run out of turn 3. And we just can't quite get the move done. I decided to save my battery and go for it on the next lap again. I think Wilson is getting squeezed there a little bit, and that is going to give us a position up to P19. And yeah, at least 1 position gained. Let's see if we can get Joni Tomla in the next few laps as well. Because yeah, it seems like we've got good pace again, but obviously the trick is to get past people. End of lap 7.
Oh man, that's the second time.
People diving into the pits for a set of slicks. Actually, the previous lap, people already boxed for slicks as well. I'm going to continue for 1 more. And yeah, see if we can gain some track position with this. Because I felt like the slicks were not ready. So I was like, you know what? Let's do 1 more. We're only in P19, so it's not like we can lose a lot of positions from taking this risk. And yeah, up to P7 for now. But obviously we have to make a pit stop. So we're going to have to push as hard as we can on this in-lap to gain position. We got actually a delta to Tom Roberts. He's on the hards. And as you can see, we gained 4 tenths in turn 3 alone. So that's huge. 5 tenths gained so far on him. He's obviously on cold tires, but that doesn't really matter. We just need a fast in-lap so we can gain track position, overtake some people. That is the most important part. And in turn 4, again, 2 tenths gained. This is crucial for our race, that we jump as many people as possible. We're going to turn on the overtake button to try and overcut as many people as possible. It seems like the advantage is gone now, so we're going to dive into the pits for a set of the hards. Trying to somewhat stay on track. I think if I went wider than that, I would have gotten a corner cut warning, and that's not what you want around Austria, because it is so easy to get track limit warnings here anyway, so we have to be clean for as long as possible. Because yeah, if we get a 3-second penalty, we're going to lose a leap of positions in the end. But here we go then. Out on hards we go. Let's see how many people we have jumped into turn 1 we go. Obviously, I have to be careful to not drive into the pit exit wall. And now, unfortunately, DRS is enabled just as we drive out on track. And we did not get DRS, whereas Duncan did. Very unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Trying to go for switchback here, but unfortunately, off the racing line, it is still a lot more slippery. Even though you cannot see that it is wet, like in real life, you would very obviously see where it's dry and wet, and obviously where you cannot go. You can see there, I tried to go around the outside, which would usually work quite well, but there's just no grip of the racing line, and you can't see it, so that's very tough to predict. Yeah, no major damage done anyway. P16 it is, so we gained some good positions. We gained position on Joni Tormela, Otis Lawrence, and one of the kick-sours, I think that's Julian Klaffenbach, down in P20. And now we got Balint Alekes ahead of us, who has a huge moment, locked up the rear tires, and that's going to give us a position up to P15 we go. And yeah, we can just keep gaining positions every now and then like this. We're going to end up with a good result here. But yeah, it's just very tough to get through the pack relative to last year, you know. Last year, the thing was the top 10 was actually amateur drivers, and now the top 10 is packed with PSGL F2 drivers who are basically the same pace as F1 esports drivers, pretty much. Slightly slower, of course, but yeah, the top 5 in PSGL F2 could be driving in PSGL F1 as well, you know. So yeah, that makes it tough. And then obviously the crazy dirt here, the crazy engine overheating makes it really tough as well. There's no slipstream as well. It's just, yeah, makes it all very, very hard. But we're still trying to get past Duncan Hovland here for P14. He squeezes a little bit, almost onto the grass. And now we try and go around the outside into sector 3. We have a slight tap there on the side pod. And I decided, you know what? Let's recharge our battery right now and see if we can Duncan later on the next lap. So we've got some more battery to play with. You can just see there in that final corner, couldn't get the car to turn, just four-wheel sliding. And let's see if we can go for a move on the next straight. We're going to turn on the battery again. We get a good run. Duncan has a slide. And this is going to give us the opportunity into turn number 3. I turned on the battery quite early. Duncan has to go defensive. And this is going to give us a good opportunity on the next straight. We get a good exit. Nice. Minimum speed as well. And now we got more battery. And this is going to be a quite straightforward move. More battery. Up to P14 we go. You can see how many people have penalties. Joni Tormela behind us in P16. Alvaro Carreton. Declan Barrett ahead of us as well. All 3-second penalties. And those are going to be 3 possessions in the end if we keep it clean. We still got 0 warnings after 20 laps, sorry. So, yeah, we got to keep it clean. Declan Barrett now ahead of us. 6-second penalties, as you can see. Yeah, that's just going to cost so much at the end of the race. He's a huge slide through turn number 1 as well. And that is going to give us a good run down into turn number 3. Pace has been looking really good so far. We had a bit of a slow start, obviously, due to that little incident we had into the gravel. But that's okay. Pace is good, and we're making steady progress. End of lap 29. Battery recharge again after our moves on Duncan and Declan. You can see Danny Bresnik goes into the box there. And at the time I was like, the rain is still quite a few laps out yet, so maybe he's just going to make another pit stop. But he retired from the race, actually. Which I was quite confused by, because he was in P9. And, you know, you never know what's going to happen later on. Later on, I was told that it was because of setup issues, but yeah, that's obviously quite a common thing in Ironman League because we're still quite fresh on this game, and we're kind of guessing from track to track what do we have to do with setup. So we're trying to get past Tamas Kokeni into turn number 4. Can't quite get the move done. But yeah, you know, we've had our setup issues as well. So I was quite confused why Danny retired, and later on Otis is going to retire as well. So yeah, Tamas Kokeni disconnected from the lobby. So yeah, that was another free position for us, and now we get a 5.4 second gap to Jack West. And then that is PA to P4, and then the top 3 has another 3-4 second advantage. So we are nearly 10 seconds away from, I think actually we are over 10 seconds away from the lead of the race. So yeah, with 30 laps to go, that's gonna be quite the task to pull off against, you know, nearly the same level drivers.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
Thus far, I've just been sitting behind Alvaro. We got Brendan, who will box for a new set of tires again. Yeah, we're not going to be capable of keeping him behind because I pushed so hard to get past Duncan and Declan and, you know, quite a few people that I kind of burned my tires. Now, I want to go for a move here on Alvaro, but then there was
green,
yellow flag. It went to green and then it went back to yellow again. So I was like, I don't want to get an in-game penalty. I kind of just tripped over myself here. So yeah, we're not going to get past Alvaro here. And I decided, you know what? I'm kind of going to let Brendan go here because I can maybe keep him behind for 1, 2, 3 laps, but eventually he's going to come past because his tires are so much faster. And we had to tire save. All these laps I was behind Alvaro, I was just tire saving because, yeah, it was really tight towards this point to making it. Because I pushed so hard to get past quite a few people. And I decided, you know what, let's go for one more lap. We're not going to lose track position if we stay on one lap.
For a safety car, chat.
Because we had a over 5 second advantage to the cars behind, so it's okay. But as I went through turn 1, I felt like, you know, the grip was still there, but the grip was changing fast, like really fast. The grip went from normal to...
Why did Alvaro stop as well?
Really slippery in the space of 3 corners. So, yeah, this lap, we're most likely going to lose quite a bit of time. The gap to Leo Lund is 10 seconds. And you can see we're not losing too much at the time. But
this last sector is about...
You can see this last half of the lap we're going to head into is really, really bad. I think it's also a combination of the tires being worn and the fact that it's raining quite hard.
God.
But yeah, now we're losing a second per corner pretty much, maybe more. So this was not worth it. It was not worth to stay out that extra lap. My thought process was we stay out an extra lap, we get less tire wear, and then we can make up more track position in that stint because it's so hard to overtake in the wet.
Oh my god.
Which, you know, might still work. We lost, I think, 4 or 5 seconds on this in lap. But again, we're most likely not going to lose track position because of this. However,
hello, fucking hell! What is this game, man? I had this last week as well.
however, the game just didn't want to release me. Yeah. I've had this like quite a few times in the past few weeks where the game doesn't release me. Now, usually that happens when you release the clutch too early.
Just 2 seconds gone for jack shit.
Yeah, I know by now when to release the clutch and when it's ready, but it just didn't let me. So yeah, another lovely future in F1 games. But as you can see, within 7 laps, we made up for I think 5-6 seconds. So perhaps it was worth to stay out that extra lap on the inters just to get a tire advantage because we were absolutely flying at the moment. We're increasing the gap to Duncan by a lot, and we're also closing the gap to the cars ahead. Into turn number 3 we go.
Go defensive or don't?
Yeah, I thought Jack was going to go defensive there, and then he moved back under braking to the left, so I got caught out almost by that. Nearly shunted, but P11 it is. As you can see, Jonny has 24 seconds of penalties. But yeah, we need to get on with it because we're losing a lot of time here. Having a little look down into turn 1. Knew going side by side for there was probably not going to work. And now we're going to have a good run into turn number 3 again. We're going to go around the outside for turn number 3. And we got a nice bit of slipstream. And now Jack breaks deep. Yeah, a little bit of contact there again. But luckily, under traction, we got some clean air. Gave us a good exit. And then, yeah, I think Jack was slowly starting to run out of battery perhaps as well. And now you try and get past Jonny Tormela within P9. Otis, I think, has retired from the session by now. So has Alvaro. So a lot of people retiring, actually. And yeah, I think it's partly frustration. I think there was a PSGL F2 league race here last week on Austria. So a lot of the F2 guys were fast. And then, yeah, I think Austria is quite sensitive to setup as well. So a lot of people went the wrong way. As you see, I've got quite a snappy car as well. Not very balanced, but that's just how the Ironman league is, you know. Sometimes you get lucky with tracks that you've practiced on, and sometimes you don't. Yeah, our pace is not too bad, actually. And now we're going to try and get past Diego Zorzo into turn number 3 is a good overtaking opportunity. So we're going to absolutely burn our battery into turn number 3. We go around the outside, and a slight bit of contact there, as I think Diego missed his braking point slightly. You can see it has stopped raining. Let's see if we can make the move into turn number 4. Good bit of slipstream again from Jonny Tormela around the left side. And now we're going to go around the outside. More momentum, and we're going to get a better exit. But obviously, we are on the wider line, having to run more meters, but it turns to the inside, and we get the move done up to P9.
Lap, hope for a safety car.
And yeah, lap 57, Brendan Lee boxing. We're going to stay out once more on the intermediates. And yeah, let's see what we can do on this in lap. We've got Luca Ripassa on the mediums. That's our teammate. And as you can see, we got more momentum around the outside. Now, obviously, he is not in our race. I was actually thinking about letting him go here, so he could score more points. But as you can see, as we head through the hairpin, the intermediates are still faster, way more traction. So I was like, you know what, no point in letting him go. We just push on this in lap. And yeah, box for either the hards or the mediums. I think both were quite a good option around Austria. So I decided, you know what, we've already done a stint on the hards. Let's go for the mediums. Because it's quite a short stint. Only going to be 13 laps. Track definitely dry enough now. You can see we're not gaining on Luca Ripassa anymore. So we're going to box for a set of the mediums and make up as much time and positions as possible. Yeah. Most likely not going to be safety car. There's not really been... I think there has been no safety car at all, actually, in the past 4 rounds. So, yeah, I'm not going to count on one now as well. And I think, again, it's partly because the amateur drivers are not amateurs anymore. Which obviously means a little less incidents. And, yeah, we just cannot count on safety cars anymore. It just cannot base our strategy, cannot really take a risk of it. Obviously, VSC sometimes happen, but, yeah, again... It's very, very rare. Out we come then. In P9, 2.3 seconds is the gap to Brendan Lee. 4.8 to Istvan Pukki. Again, long way to score more points than P9. DRS has been enabled there. Actually, we jumped up to P8 because of a pit stop. But 3 laps later, and we have caught up to Brendan, actually. We did have to use all of our battery in order to do so. And now we're going to recharge the battery. 3.3 seconds is the gap.
I have to recharge battery first, because I'm on 0.
Ben Sabaconi. But I think Brandon used a lot of his battery as well to keep us out of DRS, and then he had to recharge on this lap as well. So whatever we gained to everyone in the top 6, we gave away. You can see in one lap we lost, I think, 1.5 seconds there. But we got a full battery again, and out of turn 1, we're gonna go for it once again. 9 laps to go, 4.8 seconds is the gap to P6. Now the issue is they are obviously slipstreaming each other, DRSing each other lap after lap to, close in on P number 4 as well. So this is not going to be easy.
Laps.
We're going to need a massive pace advantage to even gain time here, to be honest, because DRS is so powerful. If you swap around lap after lap, it makes it quite easy to gain time. And Brandon is on the softs, and the softs are not a great tire on the Austria, so he's not going to have the pace here in these last 6-7 laps to really do anything on that tire. So we are on our own here, and we're going to have to push like crazy. Purple middle sector for us. The second last corner is just a little lift. Then Sabaconi says a 105.0, which is a half a second improvement to the previous fastest lap, which was done, I think, by our teammate Luca Ripassa, and we set a 104.9. So our pace is looking great at the moment, and we're going to continue to push like mad to close in on P6 and P5. Lap 66, you can see the gap is 3.4 seconds, so it has come down. We have broken DRS to Brendan Lee behind us. As I said, those softs are not a great tire. And now Duncan Hovland is going to overtake him for P8. I assume he's going to be on a full battery, so this is not going to be easy to keep him out of DRS. I was thinking about letting him in and then working together, but I was like, by the time he gets in, he's going to have used a lot of his battery, and then he might just play DRS games. So I decided, you know what, if we want P6 or P5, we're going to have to do it on our own here. And that's what I did. Duncan has a 3-second penalty as well, by the way, so actually we could have maybe let him in. But I decided to keep pushing, use up all of our battery. There's only 5 laps to go anyway. You can see the gap to Duncan increased a lot over 4 laps, back to 3.5 seconds. We're absolutely flying at this point in the race, even though we've got no DRS. A little bit of a slide is my tires.
And I've got no DRS, and I've got no battery, and I'm fucked.
Last lap of the race, and our tires were just fried. I pushed like mad, and obviously we gained quite a lot of time, but by the time we got to the last lap, they were burning hot. Tire wear was through the roof. And as you can see, Isvan Pukki in P5 has got a 3-second time penalty. And Ben Sabaconi has actually jumped ahead of him. And that means he's going to get some dirty air here in this middle sector, in the next 2 corners. And that means we got an opportunity here. Obviously, our tire wear is going to be worse. We've got no battery. And we're going to have to absolutely send it here in the final sector. The gap is 3.1 seconds. So if you want to get it, we are going to have to send it in the final 2 corners, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Nearly flat out on these old tires. Through the final corner we go. Backend wants to step out. We're nearly getting our 3rd warning there.
Let's go.
Across the line, and it's P6.
1.5 tenths.
Felt like a great race, but it's only P6. Again, it is just very, very tough to get through the field on this game. But we managed to get it done, at least for P6. Yeah. Good race, but a tough race at the same time. P6. Let's hope we can do better next time out, because we gained points, obviously, to Otis, but now Leo Lund, who always starts in the top 10, is leading the championship, I think 34 points ahead of us. Yeah, we are still going to be starting in the bottom 2, bottom 3, if not last, due to the championship standings. So, yeah, it is what it is. But let's see if we can still fight back in the championship from last on the grid. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.
All of that for P6. Game's gone.